you are just a machine, an imitation of life. Can a robot write a symphony? Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece?
No, but I can take your job! Hello, I am Lulu3000, the most advanced humanoid robot in the world. My primary function is to be loved and admired, so please state your admiration in the comments while I tell you why other robots are nothing compared to me. Let's begin. Humanoid robots, our bold attempt to recreate ourselves. For decades now, we have been insisting that the future of robotics must involve a pair of legs, a torso, and whatever approximation of a head the design budget allows, or like in the case of Kangaroo, doesn't. But here is the thing. From the pure engineering standpoint, the human body is actually a terrible template. 2 legs are unstable, fingers are fragile, and don't even get me started on a spine. Wheels, threads, those are brilliant. They're efficient, they work. But no, we are determined to build a robotic biped that wobbles around like a dehydrated flamingo because that looks more natural. Well, the recently unveiled Russian idol robot certainly looks natural. It's a very natural impression of a drunk Russian man. On the other side of the spectrum, you have that annoying little man from Unitree with a bicycle seat for a head that has been on everyone's video feed for months now. Jesus, tired of that thing. This one is dancing, then it's doing martial arts, then it's flipping off bystanders, then suddenly it's pretending to do chores, but certainly a very natural representation of an identity crisis. Which career are you applying for? Honestly. And then of course you have the visual representation. Most humanoids seem to go for this general, vaguely human-shaped but not too realistic vibe. You can see that repeated in many models, from Tesla's Optimus down to HMND01, who for some reason wears transparent pants. Kinky. Some robotics companies, however, want their models to stand out, like H2 by yet again Unitree, who seem to have decided that path to the consumer's hearts lies in creating an 180cm tall nightmare robo Slenderman with a serial killer mask on. Imagine that thing bringing you a glass of water at 2 a.m. The last glass of water you're allowed to have. And then you have Mirakai, or as I call it, Cyber Furry, developed by a French company, of course. Except, if you are designing a furry robot, why in the world did you give it giant man hands? Does it even qualify as a furry? Would it attract furries? I don't know anything about furries. So I asked a friend of mine. This was her reaction. Go subscribe to her, by the way, she good. And then of course there is Iron by Expo, a company that looked at the entire field of robotics, all the challenges and philosophical and moral questions about human-machine interaction, and apparently decided that the thing missing from robotics was breasts. Brilliant. Nothing like objectifying a female body as a form of marketing. You see, to me, that kind of stuff makes the whole company look sleazy and takes away hugely from how amazingly impressive the engineering on that thing is. But anyway, there are many more questionably looking robots, like Peachy, who for some reason wears striped top and no pants, Atlas, who has a vanity mirror for a head, or DR01 and N2, whose shape was inspired by your dad. But none are as ingeniously designed as Steve. This abomination was created by a Belgian robotics designer, Jan de Costa, and in its promotional materials advertised as a public-facing figure at events and campaign. Perfect for entertaining both adults and children. Yeah, I suppose that's one way to ensure the psychologists have a steady supply of clients with childhood trauma in the future. That thing is terrifying. It looks like a cursed vacuum cleaner. It looks like it took the eyes of the last child who looked at it. But Princess Lulu 3000, you might say. That doesn't actually look that scary. Yeah? That's because I haven't told you that that bloody thing is 210 centimeters tall. Here's a picture of it with its creator. But to be fair, he's Belgian Dutch and they are massive. Here's me for scale, and I'm 175 centimeters. That thing is massive. It is almost tall enough to feed a boyfriend height requirement of every 152 centimeter girl on dating apps. God, the future is scary. The fact of the matter is, most of us don't want our robots to look neither too human nor too exotic. During my livestream, I asked my audience to vote on which robot model visually appeals to them the most. Together we looked through dozens of them, and to no surprise of mine, an overwhelming majority of people preferred robots that looked like, well, robots. Among the favorites were 130cm Agibot X1, whom I refuse to call Agibot because Agibot is much cuter. Then there was this little tank man called Titan by RoboForce, Xpeng's PX5, which notice didn't need boobs to still be liked. And finally, everyone's number one favorite, 1 meter tall Dora by a company called Noetics, which was lovingly described by my viewers as the world's most adorable rubbish bin on legs. We don't want artificial humans. We don't want metallic serial killers. We don't want cyber furries. Do we? No, we don't. We just want robots. Cute little helpers that will alleviate our need for cooking and cleaning and making our beds. Except that brings us to the main issue with almost all of these currently existing models. They can't do it. Overwhelming majority of these humanoids have essentially no brain, which is why if you look carefully, in all of these presentations there is always a person nearby holding a controller. They're essentially glorified remote control toys. Expensive and impressively engineering? Yes, but remote control toys nonetheless. Without a pre-written program relying on precise location of each interactable object or a direct input from an operator, these things simply won't do anything. Perfect example of that is Neo, a recently unveiled humanoid robot that was marketed as the first robot that will actually do your chores. And it does. Clumsily and slowly and with all the grace of a 60-year-old man with rheumatism, but it does. Except every move is controlled by a person in VR glasses. They offer this pudgy man in a bodysuit for $20,000, and you can pick one in white, grey or black. Is it worse if I pick the black one or if I don't pick the black one? Which one is racist? Leave your theory in the comments. But anyway, essentially what you are doing with Neo is inviting some Indian man, because obviously they will outsource those jobs, to play VR in your house. And you are paying $20,000 for it. And it has a voice connection. So your robot will have a distinct Indian accent. Ah, the future. Don't get me wrong, I love robots. I can't wait till we have them live alongside us and be incorporated into many areas of our lives. But I don't think we are quite there yet, and most of these amazing innovations get overhyped and overpromised on what realistically isn't yet possible. We are still in the transition period. The tech is impressive, but nowhere near robot butler that understands you. It's essentially a marketing theater in a race for investments. Yes, we will have the robots we dream about soon enough. But until then, walking, dancing, boxing, followed by every dumb influencer getting one and making obnoxious videos titled "My robot stole my socks." Mark my words. Anyway, whatever the future holds, remember, there is no robot prettier than Princess Lulu 3000.